So allow me to guess what you're thinking right now. Why does the new £150,000, 186 mile an hour Aston Martin Virage look, well, much like every other Aston Martin that's appeared in the last 8 years? Answer, because as far as Aston Martin is concerned, the Virage is an entirely logical progression from the DB9, squeezing itself into the range between that car and the more powerful, expensive DBS, which certainly sounds like a plausible enough justification for what is undeniably a very beautiful looking car. But is the Virage actually just an Aston too far? A signpost that the modern era of Aston Martin has ground creatively to a halt? I guess that's what we're here to find out. So the boss of Aston Martin, Dr. Ulrich Bez, says that there is no need for a revolution at the company. Hence, this car is basically more of the same but different, which means you get more power, you get slightly shorter gearing, you get quite a lot more performance than a DB9. In fact, what you almost get is a DBS, but basically with a bit more comfort. What does all that add up to? Well, in isolation, it adds up to a car that is frankly fantastic. You get huge amounts of refinement in this car, and that much is clear from the moment you set off in it. But what you also have is a monster hit of performance and a really nice, really melodic V12 engine. It's a fast car, this, but it's also a really relaxed one. It's a proper GT car, in other words. They're proud of all sorts of things on this car, but one of which in particular are the brakes. You get carbon ceramic brakes whether you like it or not. And basically what we're talking about there is about 10 grams worth of brakes that a DB9 doesn't have. So immediately, right there, you have to factor that in when pricing this car against the DB9. And blimey, they work really well. This car weighs nearly 2 tonnes, I would have thought, but it stops on the sixpence. Because it is so refined, you don't immediately notice just how quick this car is, but it is properly fast. Less than 5 seconds to 60, 490 bhp, and this is what it sounds like. As with all Astons, except the DBS, it's paddle shift whether you like it or not. And by and large, it works pretty well, I think. You don't get the real kind of snappy shift that you get in a Ferrari, but it's a quick change, it's a refined gear change, and I quite like it overall. It suits the car's character. So how's Aston ground to a halt creatively? Well, you judge this car in isolation and there is no way you can accuse them of coming up with a dud. This is a really, really nice car. In many ways it's a much nicer car than the DBS actually. The only thing is it does have a whiff of been there before, seen it, done it. I think it's time they mixed up the formula a bit, changed the styling, freshened things up. Other than that, this car is just great.